Hello there, this is L24 Midnight News, and coming up next in our news program. On the eve of the 68th Algerian Revolution anniversary, President of the Republic Abdelmajid Tebboune and Prime Minister Ayman bin Abdulrahman received successfully the Arab presidents, leaders and the heads of delegates arrived in Algeria to participate in the Arab Summit. Within an exclusive statement to our L24 news team, the Libyan Foreign Minister Najla Al-Manqoush stated that the Algerian leadership has always been supportive of the Libyan approach and the Libyan solution, which is direct elections. The three preparatory meetings of the Arab States League Council concluded with a consensual results that paved the way for a prior success for the Arab entitlement. Despite Russia's pullout from the grain deal, 2 cargoes of ships loaded with grain left Ukrainian ports on Monday and took the humanitarian maritime corridor to Turkey. Hello Ghana and welcome. I'm your host Abdulrahim Kashoro, and those were today's top stories. First, from Algeria, the President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune, sent a message on Monday on the occasion of celebration of the 68th anniversary of the outbreak of the glorious Liberation Revolution of November 1954. And now opening the file of the Arab Summit. The first to arrive in Algeria to participate in the 31st session of the Arab Summit was the President of the Republic of Comoros, Ghazali Asmani. The Algerian guest, upon his arrival at Houari Boumediene International Airport, was received by the Algerian President Abdelmajid Tebboune. After listening to the national anthem of the two countries, the two presidents reviewed a lineup of Republican Guard that gave them the honorary salute. Also, the President of the State of Palestine, Mahmoud Abbas, has arrived to participate in the Algiers Summit, which is scheduled for the Tuesday and Wednesday. Upon his arrival at Houari Boumediene International Airport, Mahmoud Abbas was greeted by Algerian President Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune. After the two presidents listened to the Algerian and Palestinian national anthems, they reviewed a group of the Republican Guard who paid them an honorary salute. Still in the same topic, the President of the Republic of Iraq, Abdel Latif Jamal Rashid, arrived in Algeria to participate in the 31st session of the Arab Summit scheduled for Tuesday and Wednesday in Algiers. Upon his arrival at Ouari Boumediene International Airport, the Iraqi president was received by the President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune. After the two presidents listened to the Algerian and Iraqi national anthems, they reviewed a lineup of the Republican Guard that gave them the honorary salute. President of the Islamic Republic of Mauritania, Mohammed Ould Sheikh Al Ghazouani, arrived in Algeria to participate in the 31st session of the Arab Summit. Upon his arrival at Ouari Boumediene International Airport, where the Sheikh Al Ghazouani was received and greeted by the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune. After that, the two presidents listened to the Algerian and Mauritanian national anthems. They reviewed the lineup of Republican Guard who paid them an honorary salute. Also, the President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune, received President of the Libyan Presidential Council, Mohammed Yunus Al-Menfi, at Ouari Boumediene International Airport in Algiers to participate in the 31st Arab Summit that begins on the 1st and the 2nd of November in Algeria. After standing for national anthems of the two countries, the two presidents reviewed a lineup of Republican Guards which gave them always an honorary salute. For his part, Chairman of Yemeni Presidential Leadership Council, Rashid Mohammed Ali Al-Alimi, arrived in Algeria to participate in the 31st session of the Arab Summit. Al-Alimi, upon his arrival at Ouari Boumediene International Airport, was received by Algerian President Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune. After the two presidents listened to the Algerian and Yemeni national anthems. They reviewed the lineup of the Republican Guard as well, and an honorable salute. President of the Transitional Sovereignty Council of the Republic of Sudan, Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, arrived in Algiers on Monday afternoon to take part in the 31st session of the Arab Summit to be held on Tuesday and Wednesday in Algiers. The host of Algeria was welcomed at Ouari Boumediene International Airport by the President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune. After listening to the national anthems of both countries, the two presidents reviewed a detachment of Republican Guard that gave them the honors. In Algeria, always, and again, Senegalese President and current Chairman of the African Union, Macky Sall, arrived to Algiers as a guest of honor of the 31st session of the Arab Summit. On his arrival at Ouari Boumediene International Airport, Macky Sall was received by President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune. After that, the two presidents listened to the national anthems. They reviewed the lineup of the Republican Guard that gave them the honorary salute. President of the Lebanese Council of Ministers, Najib Mikati, arrived on Monday afternoon in Algiers to take part in the 31st session of the Arab Summit to be held on Tuesday and Wednesday in Algiers. Mr. Mikati was greeted upon arrival at Ouari Boumediene International Airport in Algiers by Prime Minister Mr. Ayman bin Abdurrahman. The Deputy Prime Minister for Relations and International Cooperation Special Representative of Sultan of Amman, Asad bin Tariq Al Said, arrived on Monday noon in Algiers to take part in the 31st session of the Arab Summit to be held on Tuesday and Wednesday at the International Center of Conference of Abdel Latif Rahal. Mr. bin Tariq Al Said was welcomed at Houari Boumediene International Airport in Algiers by Prime Minister Mr. Ayman bin Abdurrahman. Bahrain's Deputy Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Mubarak Al Khalifa, Special Representative of the King of Bahrain Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, arrived in Algiers on Monday afternoon to take part in the 31st session of the Arab Summit to be held on Tuesday and Wednesday in Algiers. The host of Algeria was welcomed at Houari Boumediene International Airport in Algiers by always Prime Minister Mr. Ayman bin Abdurrahman. The Algerian President Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune affirmed that Algiers summit will represent a new start to activate and strengthen the joint Arab action. President Tebboune, in an exclusive interview with Qatar news agency, stated that choosing the 1st of November as the date for summoning the Arab League summit was not purely a coincidence, but rather based on the holiness and greatness of this day as the anniversary of the Liberation Revolution. The Algerian president stressed on the centrality of the Palestinian cause, confirming that Algeria considers the Palestinian cause the mother of all issues, expressing his hope that Algeria summit will contribute to bringing the Palestinian cause back to the center of the Arab and international attention. On the other hand, he praised the attendance of Emir of Qatar to the Arab Summit, which will increase cohesion and stimulate Arab reunification, stressing on permanent open for Qatar in organizing the World Cup 2022. Libya's Minister for Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Nejla Al-Manqoush, praised Algeria's approach to the Libyan solution in resolving the crisis in her country and reaching direct elections that will bring the transition to an end. The United Nations envoy to Libya, Abdullah Batili, also expressed optimism about the outcome of the Arab Summit on Libya's file.
The Libyan crisis is the issue around which there are many controversies. Everyone sees the Libyan issue from a certain angle. We respect the opinion and the orientations of each country, but eventually this issue concerns the Libyans who have the first and last word. That is what the Algerian authorities are defending. The latter have always supported the inter-Libyan solution and the opinions of the National Unity Government, which stipulates that the only solution is the organization of a direct election and to put an end to the transitional periods because it is the security and political solution for all. This solution meets the expectations of the Libyan people for a better future.
Je voudrais d'abord remercier très sincèrement le gouvernement algérien.
I would like to sincerely thank the Algerian government for the invitation to the summit. As you know, the UN Secretary General will be present during the summit's activities. I came here as head of the UN support mission in Libya and hope to reach resolutions and positive decisions for Libya, neighboring countries, and Arab countries. And in this important historic period, I am aware that the current discussions will contribute in finding a sustainable solution to guarantee peace and stability in Libya. I am very hopeful that this high-level meeting gives an opportunity for fruitful discussions.
Des discussions sereines et des discussions positives.
Leila Zarrouqi, Special Envoy in charge of major international partnership, revealed that the Senegalese president and current president of the African Union, Macky Sall, had attended the work of the Arab Summit in an effort to revive the Arab-African alliance.
تواجد رئيس الاتحاد الإفريقي هي مبادرة جزائرية.
The presence of the President of the African Union is an Algerian initiative, and we have invited him to represent the African Union because he is a part of those present at the meeting. On this basis, the Senegalese President, who chairs the African Union, will be present in Algeria, alongside the Secretary General of the United Nations and the Organization of Islamic States. Algeria is a place that can play the role of combining the interests and objectives of the African Union with the Arab League.
الجامعة العربية.
In a statement made at the International Conference Center in Algeria, al-Dokhairi said that Arab region was ready to take many measures to create stimulating economic environment.
هذه القمة قمة لم الشمل.
This summit, the Arab Reunification Summit, is very important and has set up space for the economic file. Among this economic file is the issue of food security. A number of decisions were taken that started with the issue of agricultural integration and Arab agricultural cooperation, and end with the issue of Greater Arab Free Trade Area and the Arab Customs Union. All of them increase opportunities for investment and trade exchange in agricultural products.
3 preparatory meetings of the Arab States League Council in anticipation of the summit schedule for the November 1st and 2nd concluded with consensual results that paved the way for a prior success for the Arab Summit. Zafrjani.
Features of a successful 31st session of the Arab Summit in Algeria were manifested in achieving consensus on an agenda with heavy files related to the Arab concern and activating joint regional action. Algeria's permanent representative to the League of Arab States confirmed that the agenda of the Arab Summit was determined within the framework of a full consensus of foreign ministers of the member states.
The foreign ministers finished discussing all the files of the summit's agenda and agreed fully on all the issues on the draft resolutions that will be submitted to the summit for approval on the 1st and 2nd of November.
Arab foreign ministers also confirmed their consensus on the various issues on the summit's agenda, stressing that Algiers' summit proved its early success. The ministers present in the meetings valued Algeria's efforts to provide tangible and practical approaches to the concerns of the Arab peoples.
There
was strong agreement between foreign ministers in order to bring these recommendations to the summit. Today's and yesterday's meeting were comfortable, despite some differences of opinion, but there was an agreement, and the summit will succeed tomorrow.
We value all the efforts made by brotherly Algeria for the success of the summit and the distinguished preparations for it. And we also appreciate the efforts of all brothers who share Algeria's keenness on the success of the summit, so as to provide something practical and tangible in our common quest to face challenges and achieve the best for our peoples.
By achieving most of the outcomes of the preparatory meetings for the Arab Summit, in agreement on need to address the challenges facing the Palestinian cause, Algeria would have succeeded in returning that issue to its Arab home, where it is at the forefront of the Arab interests.
And to talk more about the Arab Summit that is to be gathered all Arab nations, I'm joined live by Mr. Hamoud Salhi, an associate professor at California University from USA. Mr. Hamoud Salhi, hello over there.
Hello, how are you?
I appreciate it. Mr. Hamoud, the Assistant Secretary General of the League of the Arab States, Hussam Zaki, and the foreign ministers gathered here in Algiers are assuring their confidence and guaranteeing that this Arab Summit is going to be a successful one. So how and on what are these assured statements based?
I think what we've seen so far, it is the result of a strong, positive, excellent preparation of the Algerian team, diplomatic team, including President Abdelmajid Tebboune. There is a clear indication from what we've seen so far is that the Algerians were serious in making this is a successful event. There were preliminary meetings. For example, civil society met, of all the Arab world met in Oran before. There was meeting of the Palestinians. All those were successful attempts. And then there is another thing that attempts to make this conference, this summit meeting successful. The second point, I think the approach that the Algerians have taken to address the problems that the Arab world is facing. This is a very, very critical time for the Arab world. We have challenges, security challenges in several countries. You have a food crisis. So you have major problems as a result of what's happening in Ukraine, the coronavirus. all this, and then the various challenges in the Gulf countries with the nuclear issue of Iran. So what the Algerians did is envelop this in a common interest summit meeting, meaning they went ahead for looking for pattern for things that would appeal to the Arabs. For example, when you look at the issue of food crisis, that is an issue that involves everybody. Then the other thing is that the Algerians were very successful in linking their role as a host of the Arab League as more of Arab League regional interests or all Arab interests than their own. This is why, for example, you have an invitation to countries that Algeria has trouble with them, particularly our neighbors Morocco. The foreign minister Moroccan is in Algeria to attend. The other issue is that Algeria initially wanted this summit meeting to be a meeting when Syria comes back to the Arab world, and it would be present at the Arab League. Well, it was difficult to get the Arab world on this page. The Syrian decision, President Syrian al-Assad said, he withdrew. He decided not to come. So there was a series of serious attempts at making this conference successful, and it shows not only by the official declaration, but also by the Western media, including in France.
Quite understood. Mr. Hammoud, Algiers' declaration regarding Palestinian reconciliation stressed the importance of an Arab team following up the terms of this agreement. So, to what extent can the Arab Summit compel the parties to embody this Algiers' declaration on the real world?
This is a historical summit in that regard. And again, it shows the preparation for this for the resumption or for assisting or providing support for the Palestinians. The meeting of all factions in Algiers prior to the summit meeting was designed to unite all factions so that the Palestinian house is in order. The second attempt that the Algerians have done is the issuance of a communique that is expected to support the Palestinians. What the Algerians are looking for in this instance, or the Palestinians are expecting of the Arab world, is to act as supporting the Palestinian for making them stronger when negotiating, and more than anything else, to bring back the Palestinian cause to the forefront of Arab politics. These days, with the normalization of Israel, with the role of the United States making the agreements, peace agreement as involving more than the Palestinians, just the Palestinians and the Israelis, the call to go back to the Arab Initiative in 2002 is a clear indication that
Quite understood, Mr. Hammoud Salhi. Just briefly, because we do have a limited time. The Arab foreign ministers, Mr. Hammoud Salhi, stressed during the meeting the necessity to stand with the Arab countries that are experiencing complexities and temporary problems such as Libya, Sudan, Syria. What is the duty of the Arab League to help those countries, and how could this sort of assistance it be delivered?
The Arab League has a very important role. Number one is to make sure that the internal issues of these countries problems are resolved in the Arab world, making sure that the Arab sovereignty, that the states, that there is no interference of outside countries in these countries, namely that the Arab world will play a constructive role in what we call Arabizing this crisis, meaning having the Arab world play a role within the Arab League by providing support for under the banner of national reconciliation or a national resolution that will support everyone. This is clearly in what we've seen in Egypt, in Libya, where the Libyan foreign minister was very clear by stating that she likes the Algerian approach for national reconciliation. She wants the Libyan to take care of their own internal business, and she wants the Arab League to support them in building that national reconciliation. situation. That's where the Arab League can be instrumental. And then at the international level, within the United Nations Security Council and the General Assembly and other places.
Perfect. Mr. Hamoud Salhi, you join us live from USA. Thank you ever so much for being with us in this short term.
See you next time. Thanks.
I appreciate it. Now moving on to a different matter. Ships carrying grain sail from Ukrainian ports despite Moscow's suspension of its participation in a UN broker deal to ensure the safety of such cargoes amid unrelenting war. Osama Yadi.
Ships carrying grain sailed from Ukrainian ports on Monday despite Moscow's suspension of its participation in a UN program to ensure the safety of such cargoes amid an unrelenting war. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky confirmed that his country would continue implementing the program brokered by the UN and Turkey in July and aimed at keeping the supply of food commodities to world markets flowing.
I'm sure. I trust the partners will be able to calm down Russia's rhetoric. On our side, we continue with the grain initiative because we understand that we offer the world. We offer stability and food market.
Moscow's defense ministry stated that it was forced to pull out of the Black Sea grain shipping deal after blaming Kyiv for blasts that damaged Russian Navy ships in the Crimean port of Sevastopol on Saturday. However, the ministry did not say what Russia would do if ships continued to sail from the route, and it stressed that Russia was not withdrawing from the deal, but only suspending it.
There is a disagreement because of the bombing of the ships. There were explosions in that area. That's why Russia took this decision. Therefore, the passage of ships and their inspection will be delayed. There was already a build-up there. This will intensify.
Ukraine has neither confirmed nor denied that it was behind the explosions that hit the Crimea base of Russia's Black Sea Fleet, but says Russia's Navy is the legitimate military target. After Russia suspended its participation in the grain shipping program, the United States accused Russia of using food as a weapon against the world, and President Zelensky further affirmed the accusation, stating that Russia is blackmailing the world with food security.
And with this, we come to an end to our news bulletin. Thank you ever so much for being with us. For more updates, you can follow our social media platform as well as L24 official website. For now, good night.